Who is the Flash speedster known as Impulse? I'll explain it to you and my reasoning for why I think Bart Allen could be on The Flash Season 4. Flash fans know that Barry Allen is going to be out of commission for at least the first episode of Season 4. Maybe even more. Maybe they could leave him out the entire season. I really doubt that, but it's possible. And this has to lead to other speedsters stepping up and filling the speedster void in Central City. Now, Wally West, Kid Flash, and Jesse Quick are the most obvious choices that come to mind. Plus, don't forget about Jay Garrick whenever he's not going to be busy protecting Earth 3. But the Flash and the DCTV universe have been hinting at another speedy member of the Allen family hitting the TV screen really soon, and that is Bart Allen. And in Season 3, we got one pretty big tease. When Barry induced amnesia in an attempt to prevent Savitar from killing Iris, he considers going by the name of Bart instead of Barry, because for some reason he really thinks he's more of a Bart in his current state. See what I'm talking about?
Your name is Barry.
My name's not Barry. You know what my name is, but my name's Bartholomew Henry Allen. That's not a good name.
Look, Barry.
Are you sure I don't go by Bart? Bart feels more natural to me. Can we go with Bart?
Bart's kind of cool.
Okay.
Wally.
Seems like some pretty strong evidence, right? Let me give you some more. Supergirl in her show has had a lot of references to the Legion of Superheroes in their second season. In fact, Kara's new boyfriend, Mon-El, is a classic member of the Legion of Superheroes. Now, you might be asking yourself, what does the Legion have to do with anything of the Flash? Well, I'm gonna tell you, just be patient. The Legion of Superheroes come from the 31st century. Guess who else comes from the 31st century? That's right, Bart motherflippin' Allen. In fact, this isn't really that different from Season 2 of The Flash, where we heard a lot about Jessie Wells from her father, Harrison, and then we met her on the show, and then she was given speed powers and eventually ascended to the role of Jesse Quick, protector of Earth 3, sometimes Earth 2, depending on where she wants to be, depending on where her boyfriend Wally West is. It's kind of confusing what Earth she's on anymore. Right? Am I right? I think I'm right. One of the things that all of these shows love to do is they love to plant the seeds of a DC comic Easter egg, like the idea of a name drop where characters will get their names mentioned well before they make their on-screen debut on the show. And also, let's not forget that Impulse has already made his live-action debut on a 2004 episode of Smallville entitled Run. Now, let's explore who Bart Allen is in the comics. Bartholomew Henry Bart Allen II is the grandson of Barry Allen and Iris West. He originally appeared in a Legion of Superheroes story. Now, his father, Don Allen, is set to be executed by the government of Earth that has come under control by the Dominators. Now, if you remember, these are the aliens that we saw in the epic Invasion crossover event from last year, and they also befuddled the DC Universe in the Invasion comics event. Don and Bart's mother, Carmen Johnson, aka Melanie Thawne, who is descended from everyone's favorite evil speedster, Eobard Thawne. You know, the Reverse Flash. Yeah, that's right. Barry Allen's children eventually cross over with the Thawne line. Well, this speedster couple, along with their grandmother, Iris West Allen, flee persecution along with their toddler, Bart Allen. You might be confused by this for a split second, but at this time in DC Comics continuity, Iris West Allen was living in the future. And I don't want to go too far into it. Maybe I can cover that in a future video down the line. Like many speedsters, Bart has a hyper-accelerated metabolism. And rather than this being helpful to him, like Wally West's ability to eat pounds and pounds and pounds of hamburgers and not gaining weight, for Bart Allen, it's actually very harmful. By the age of 2, Bart looked like he was 12 years old and was aging rapidly. In the hopes of stalling the rapid aging, he was raised in a virtual reality machine. No, this is nothing like PlayStation VR. This is kind of a not as cool version. When it becomes clear that this wasn't enough, Iris West Allen took Bart back to the present day of the DC universe, that was the 90s at the time, and introduced him to her nephew, Wally West, who was the Flash at the time. Now, Wally tricked Bart into a race around the world, and because of that, was able to shock his metabolism back into a normal rate of aging. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pretty awesome basis for an episode in season 4 right there. Imagine this. Bart shows up. He's dying, and only his grandpa or his grandpa's protege can save him. It also would create a very interesting story point for a young Barry Allen to have to deal with a grown-up grandson. It would shock anybody in their 20s. Back in the comics, Bart has a difficult time applying himself, and he believes that he is incapable of living up to the legacy that Barry Allen left by sacrificing himself to save the world during the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's definitely a high bar to clear when your grandpa saves all of existence. Bart Allen is mentored by both Max Mercury and Jay Garrick, who even brings Bart to live in his home, with the goal of teaching Bart to look before he leaps, because the young speedster doesn't seem to understand consequences the way some of his superpowered peers at the time do, like Tim Drake Robin and Connor Kent Superboy. Since the last time we saw Jay Garrick, he was out of the Speed Force in Season 3, he's actually in perfect position to serve as Bart's mentor when he first appears on the show, and it also would give John Wesley Shipp something interesting to do, freeing up Barry to concentrate on getting himself back to 100% once he returns from the Speed Force. Also, the addition of Bart to the cast could herald the introduction of Max Mercury, who hasn't yet been seen on The Flash, and this would be a cool way to incorporate a new speedster and not make them the villain. And oh boy, my friends, do I want to make a Max Mercury video for you all. He is one of my favorite speedsters. Now back to the comics, Bart Allen quickly takes up the superhero identity of Impulse, for which he is probably most famous. Writer Mark Waid is responsible for Impulse's incredible solo run that goes on to leading Bart into founding the Young Justice team along with Tim Drake Robin and Connor Kent Superboy. They are a team that really rebels against their mentors, determined to define themselves by their own accomplishments and step out from the shadows that the Flash, Batman, and Superman have left in their wake. He doesn't remain Impulse very long, though, because Young Justice disbands, and there is a new generation of Teen Titans that gets formed, written by Jeff Johns. During the first arc of this storyline, Bart undergoes a real period of emotional growth and decides to become a serious superhero, leading himself to reading the entire San Francisco library and building himself a new costume in a matter of seconds, calling himself Kid Flash. Now, if Wally decides to call himself the Flash in Season 4 in the wake of Barry's absence, there is a possibility that Bart won't ever call himself Impulse if he shows up in Season 4. He might just go straight to calling himself Kid Flash 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Then in the comic books, Bart experienced the comic book event Infinite Crisis, and Bart, along with Jay Garrick and Wally West, are the solution to defeating Superboy Prime. Who's Superboy Prime? Well, he's a leftover from the original multiverse. Yeah, there's more than one, and his history is so complicated that I'm not going to go into it right now because that is a huge rabbit hole. To stop Superboy Prime from attacking everyone they love in the multiverse, the speedsters run him into the Speed Force and trap him. Jay Garrick has to drop out because he can't run that fast. Wally West gets absorbed into the Speed Force, leaving Bart Allen as the only speedster left around. And if you want to read that massive crossover event, Infinite Crisis, I'm going to put a link in the description below, because then you can read the story about how Bart Allen saved the world. This story also leads directly into Bart's brief stint as the Flash and his epic death at the hands of the Black Flash and several of the Rogues. Now, Black Flash, as we've already seen, has been in the Flash and DC's Legends of Tomorrow. My Season 4 predictions for Impulse are informed based on everything I know about Bart Allen and the way that similar characters have been introduced into all of these TV shows in the past. I think we're going to see several key moments from Bart Allen's storyline playing out in Season 4, possibly rewritten to include more of the mainstay characters from the show. Like if Bart Allen shows up, possibly he'll live in Joe's house. Maybe he'll live in Barry's old room, along with Wally, instead of going to Jay Garrick, who's probably going to go back to Earth 3 to relieve Jesse Quick so she can finally come back to Earth 2 or Earth 1, depending on where her dating with Wally West takes her. Again, what Earth is Jesse Quick gonna be on anymore? I don't understand it. Now, in the wake of the threat to Iris last season, I think when Barry returns to the show, he is going to need proof that the threat to their shared future has actually been vanquished. I know we saw Savitar disappear in a paradox, but there's always a chance with all these time traveler speedsters that they could come back, just like Eobard Thawne. Impulse Bart Allen could be the direct proof that Savitar is finally gone, and he could lead to some very interesting complications for our main series hero. And considering that Barry did a really poor job training Wally and left most of Wally's training to H.R. Wells, nurturing Bart would allow Barry to step up and be the leader and the hero that Flash should be for the rest of the speedsters in the DC universe. That's why I think Bart Allen would be a great addition to Season 4. Head on down to the comments and let me know if you think Impulse is going to be in Season 4. While you're down there, click subscribe, and then check out one of these other cool DCTV theory videos popping up at you on the screen. Until the next video, I'm Jason Inman. Thanks for watching.